Bro, thank you for choosing this video. Welcome back to this channel, a haven for Chelsea news updates. So find a comfortable seat and grab a drink, because this time I'm presenting 10 stories about Chelsea off the pitch that you probably didn't know. I hope to reach 300 likes. By liking this video, I'm even more motivated to provide as much news as possible and as interesting as possible for you. And finally, please comment where you're from. I'd love to know which countries are watching this video.
Pressure on Liam Rosenior is reportedly mounting, and the spotlight is no longer just on results on the pitch, but also on his public speaking. The Chelsea manager was once praised for his honest, relaxed communication style, a departure from the hard-nosed style of English football. But as results began to deteriorate, everything that was once considered appealing began to look embarrassing in the eyes of many fans. In recent weeks, Chelsea's problems have continued to pile up. Injuries have come and gone. Rumors of key players wanting to leave have surfaced. Rumors of leaked squads have been discussed, and bizarre tactical decisions have further complicated the situation. Rosenior is even said to have come under fire after giving tactical instructions in the 86th minute when his team was already in a desperate situation. Instead of providing reassurance, his press conferences have left many supporters wondering, is he really in control? Most worryingly, Chelsea continue to lose because of stupid mistakes and lax discipline. But there's little sign the team is learning from those mistakes. With the vice-captain reportedly considering his future and the main defenders being accused of not showing urgency in key moments, fans want to see decisiveness. They want a manager who stands at the forefront, not just explains the chaos. The situation now is simple but brutal. If Rosenior can't demonstrate authority through words, then he must demonstrate it through results, because at a club as big as Chelsea, a compelling personality alone will never be enough. The question now is this just a difficult phase, or the beginning of a loss of confidence in Rosenior? Chelsea are once again forced to face a harsh reality, and this time the spotlight is on Robert Sanchez. The goalkeeper made another mistake in the Blues' 3-0 defeat to Everton, with a blunder on the second goal further shattering fans' confidence. Sanchez had started the season quite convincingly. However, after being benched following the error against Arsenal, error after error has now cast doubt on his position. If this situation continues, it's highly likely Chelsea will move to find a new goalkeeper this summer. Several names have begun to emerge as candidates. Georgi Mamardashvili has been mentioned as an interesting option, especially after his struggles to dislodge Alisson at Liverpool. Although his playing time has been limited, his performances as Valencia's first-choice goalkeeper showed great quality. Then there's Bart Verbruggen, a name who has long been linked with Chelsea. The Brighton goalkeeper is considered one of the most consistent in the Premier League, and with Brighton's track record of always selling players for the right price, the possibility of a transfer remains alive. Another name being monitored is Robin Roofs, with a transfer fee reportedly worth up to £50 million. But the big question isn't just who will come in, but how urgently Chelsea must act. Because if blunders continue to occur at crucial moments, the goalkeeping position will no longer be just an area of evaluation, but an emergency that must be resolved immediately. So now, will Chelsea continue to be patient with Sanchez, or is his new era at Stamford Bridge drawing to a close? Enzo Fernandez's future at Chelsea is now under serious scrutiny. Fabrizio Romano shared some worrying news, stating that Chelsea and Fernandez have yet to reach an agreement on a new contract. This situation has sparked widespread speculation, especially given the Blues' declining performance and increasing pressure at the end of the season. Fernandez himself had just captained Chelsea to a 3-0 loss to Everton, a result that extended their poor run to 4 consecutive defeats in all competitions. Instead of bouncing back after the PSG defeat, Chelsea have performed even more disappointingly. In such circumstances, it's natural for the futures of key players to be in question. According to Romano, there have been talks between Fernandez's camp and Chelsea regarding a possible new contract, but so far, no agreement has been reached. And this is where the situation begins to heat up. Romano emphasized that if this situation continues into the summer transfer window without a new deal, Fernandez could begin to consider offers. La Liga has been mentioned as a possible destination, with Real Madrid reportedly interested in monitoring the Argentine midfielder's situation. Despite his contract running until 2032, Signs of dissatisfaction are starting to become increasingly clear. Now the question is simple, yet tense. Can Chelsea convince Enzo to stay, or are they on the verge of losing one of their biggest stars? Wayne Rooney made a rather sharp assessment after Chelsea's recent slump. After a 3-0 loss to Everton, the Manchester United legend assessed that the Blues still lack a striker capable of truly challenging for the title. And although João Pedro has performed quite well this season, Rooney emphasized that Chelsea still needs improvement in that position. João Pedro has indeed been one of the few positives in this difficult season. Signed from Brighton for a transfer fee reported to be around £60 million, the Brazilian striker has scored 14 league goals and is one of the players who has actually improved under Rosenior. However, for Rooney, good performances alone are not enough if Chelsea's goal is to return to competing for the biggest trophies. According to him, a team like Chelsea needs a center forward who not only scores goals, but also inspires, and strikes fear into opponents. The comment immediately sparked debate, as João Pedro has been one of the most consistent players in a season where many other stars have been disappointing. Meanwhile, the pressure on Rosenior continues to mount, after 4 consecutive defeats have kept Chelsea stuck outside the Champions League places. Interestingly, Chelsea are already preparing Emmanuel Emega for a summer arrival. So now the question becomes even more pressing. Will João Pedro still be the mainstay? Or are Chelsea truly preparing a new striker to take on the big stage at Stamford Bridge? Rosenior is back in the spotlight after another Chelsea defeat, and this time it's not just the result that's frustrating fans, but also his post-match statements. After the defeat to Everton, Rosenior tried to defuse the pressure by highlighting statistics, noting that Chelsea have won 17 points from 10 league games since his arrival, even claiming his team is in 4th place during that period. However, to many supporters, those comments sounded like the sign of a manager running out of answers. On paper, those numbers may sound convincing, but the reality on the ground tells a different story. Chelsea are currently in a dismal period, with their performances steadily declining as the opposition becomes tougher. When the schedule was lighter, results looked promising, but when the pressure came on, everything collapsed. A string of Premier League defeats, cup failures, and increasingly disoriented performances made the claim, "We're 4th since I arrived," feel like a forced defense. Rosenior also emphasized responsibility, but at the same time, he again blamed individual errors as the main cause of the goals conceded. The problem is, fans now need more than just repeated explanations. They want solutions, change, and a sign that this team still has direction, because if all they keep coming up with are statistics and excuses, then the big question begins to arise. Is Rosenior still in control, or is he slowly sinking under the pressure at Stamford Bridge? Chelsea is reportedly heading into a turbulent summer. It's not just poor results on the pitch, but also a dressing room that's starting to shake. According to the latest reports, at least 6 Chelsea players have begun talks with their agents about leaving Stamford Bridge at the end of the season. And even more worryingly, 5 other players are also said to be considering their futures. The names reportedly experiencing exits include Enzo Fernandez, Tosin Adarabioyo, Wesley Fofana, Benoit Badiashile, Mark Guiu, and Philip Jorgensen. This situation comes amidst Chelsea's declining form. The Blues were recently eliminated from the Champions League after being thrashed by PSG, while their Premier League form is also far from convincing. Their hopes of a top 4 finish are now seriously threatened. The pressure is automatically on Rosenior. Since taking over as manager, he hasn't been able to truly provide stability. In fact, his decision to replace Enzo Maresca is now being questioned by many. Meanwhile, fans also believe Chelsea's problems lie not only with the manager, but also with their recruitment, which they consider to be a failure. Many players have come at high prices, but their contributions haven't been commensurate. Therefore, a major overhaul is starting to feel inevitable. If these reports are true, this summer could be the start of a new revolution at Stamford Bridge. The question now is this the cleanup Chelsea needs? Or is it a sign that their project is starting to crack from within? Gary Cahill has finally spoken out, and this time his message is very serious. After Chelsea's crushing 3-0 defeat to Everton, the Blues legend admitted he was starting to lose faith in Robert Sanchez. This has drawn significant attention, as Cahill was previously known for being one of the most vocal defenders of the goalkeeper amidst constant criticism. According to Cahill, Sanchez actually has quality. He is considered to have character, is quite comfortable building attacks from the back, and can be an excellent shot stopper at times. However, the main problem remains the same: repeated, costly mistakes for Chelsea. In the match against Everton, Sanchez again made a blunder for the second goal, highlighting the team's ongoing crisis. The defeat also extended Chelsea's poor run to 4 consecutive defeats in all competitions. The pressure on Rosenior is mounting, while the Blues' defense looks increasingly fragile. Now the question is clear: is Sanchez still worthy of trust, or should Chelsea start considering a new era between the sticks? Rumors surrounding Enzo Fernandez's future have heated up again, but this time Fabrizio Romano has stepped in to quell the speculation. Amidst immense pressure on Chelsea, the Argentine midfielder was linked with PSG after the team's performance continued to decline. However, according to Romano, these rumors are currently baseless. PSG are reportedly not working on a transfer for Enzo Fernandez. In fact, Romano emphasized that the Parisian club is satisfied with their current midfield. This statement is certainly significant news, as rumors of Enzo's departure began to surface after Chelsea's 3-0 loss to Everton, a result that extended the Blues' poor run to 4 consecutive defeats in all competitions. Chelsea's situation is certainly not ideal. They are currently in 6th place in the table with just 7 games remaining, and the threat of failing to qualify for the Champions League is starting to become very real. If that happens, it could have a significant impact on the summer transfer window. While Rosenior has insisted that star players will not be in a rush to leave, the absence of a Champions League spot could change everything. Enzo himself has reportedly not yet reached a new contract agreement, even though his current deal runs until 2032. That's what fuels the rumors. But one thing is now starting to become clear: PSG aren't the ones waiting for that opportunity. Interestingly, while Enzo's future is in question, Chelsea are reportedly looking for a new midfielder for next season. Names like Elliot Anderson and Adam Wharton have been linked, while Valentin Barco is also said to be getting closer. So now the question isn't just whether Enzo will stay, but are Chelsea preparing for a major overhaul in midfield? Chelsea is once again being linked with a big name, and this time the spotlight is on Julian Alvarez. The Atletico Madrid striker was reportedly being closely monitored by Chelsea and Arsenal representatives during their Champions League round of 16 appearance. Recent reports suggest that Alvarez once again shone in a major European match, scoring 1 goal and assisting another as Atletico won 3-2 and advanced 7-5 on aggregate. This performance further cemented his reputation as a player capable of shining in the most crucial moments. For Chelsea, this is certainly unusual news. Amidst a high-pressure season, the Blues are constantly searching for an elite striker who can make an instant impact while also being the foundation of a long-term project. Alvarez is considered a good fit due to his versatility, able to play as a main striker, a second striker, or even wide on the attack. Most interestingly, he has proven to be a calm presence in big matches, something Chelsea desperately needs right now. However, the path to this transfer will certainly not be easy. Barcelona is said to still be the player's preferred destination, while Atletico are believed to only let him go for a very high price, possibly exceeding 100 million euros. So now the question is starting to heat up. Are Chelsea really ready to go all out for Alvarez? Or is this just a monitoring exercise with no real action? Chelsea are reportedly very close to securing young Strasbourg midfielder Valentin Barco. This news comes from BBC journalist Guillaume Balag, who says the transfer of the 21-year-old Argentine is now just a matter of time. Barco is no stranger to Rosenior, as the two previously worked together during the player's time at Strasbourg. Interestingly, despite being known as a midfielder, Barco also boasts great versatility, being able to play as a wing-back or left-back. This season, he has made 49 appearances, scoring 1 goal and providing 11 assists, figures that demonstrate a significant creative contribution. His career has had its ups and downs since leaving Boca Juniors, including difficult spells at Brighton and Sevilla. But at Strasbourg, Barco is starting to find his rhythm again. If this transfer is confirmed, Chelsea will not only be signing a talented player, but also a player who already understands Rosenier's system. The question now is, will Barco be Chelsea's brilliant surprise, or just another youth project? That will take time.